Okay, we're recording. Okay, so the balls that we're going to use tonight are the gold, cream, and black balls, calf balls, or the bed balls. If you've been doing Yamuna for a while and you feel like if you feel like the bed balls will be better for you. So what we're going to focus on tonight is the glutes, finding that lift of the glutes, doing a lot to release space in the hip as well. So we're going to start on the black balls, or like I said, you could use the bed balls if you so choose. And we're going to start with one on each sit bone. And we're going to just start from the insertion of the glute to the origin. So we're going to be around the center of the sit bone. I want you to be slightly in front of the sit bone. And then sit really nice and tall. So you got the balls right underneath the front of the sit bone. It's not a very big bone, so you may need to fiddle around with getting that spot just right. You're going to sit really nice and tall. I think I'm going to change my direction slightly so I can see you guys with a little more ease. There you go. And then you're just going to exhale and try to get heavy onto the balls. I like to imagine that I breathe into the ball with my inhale breath. And on my exhale, I can feel everything that's around the ball sort of melt around the ball. We're going to do one more breath here. And then we're going to start moving. So you're going to inhale, grow tall, breathe into the balls. And on your exhale, you're just going to draw your bottom forward slightly, and you're going to sink your weight down into the ball. So we're staying straight up and down. We're not tucking our bottom underneath us here. Breathe in. And then you're going to exhale. You're going to draw your body forward again, and you're just going to sink your sit bones down into the ball, keeping your pelvis vertical.
Right.
And we're going to keep going with that. I forgot to mute you guys, so I'm going to do that real quick. There we go. Okay. And you're going to take one more breath. You're going to inhale. You're going to breathe into the balls. And on your exhale, you're going to slide forward a little bit further. And you feel that ball giving you the glute, separating the glute from the hamstring, giving it a little bit of the lift. And then you're going to tuck your bottom just a little bit, and you're still drawing your sit bones towards your heels. You can rest on your hands, still the weight's in the balls. The hands would be there more so you don't fall off the balls. And you're just going to get your weight down into the balls. We're just sitting, allowing the back of the pelvis, the sit bones to be stimulated, getting that information in the muscle that it needs to release. And then draw your sit bones forward. You're tracing up the center of the glute, up the back of the pelvis. And you're going to get your weight there. You're going to melt, you're going to melt, you're going to melt to the ball. Inhale. And exhale. Melt to the ball. Inhale. And melt to the ball. Now you're going to tuck your bottom, and we're just going to do one smooth move with the pelvis going towards the heel and the balls coming up to the back of the pelvis. So now we're more on the origin point of the glute. And then you're just going to drag your body back, sit on up, find the sit bones, find the front of the sit bone, and then we're going to come off those balls. Now you're going to take that ball and you're going to place it on your right sit bone. Pick your bottom back up so you're right on top of that ball. Your leg is going to be straight out in front of you. And we're going to do just a more focused releasing of the glute, separating of the glute from the hamstring. So you've got your heel, your foot flexed, your heel is reaching, you're sitting tall. You have just one ball under your right sit bone. You're going to breathe into that ball, and on your exhale, you're going to start tucking your pelvis, drawing your pelvis towards your heel, staying heavy on that ball, tracing straight up the glute to the back of the pelvis. And then you're going to draw your body back. We're going to do 3 passes like this. Come really vertical and then lean forward and find the hamstring tendons. And then sit back up straight, find the center of that sit bone. Reach your heel out. Let that ball come up into the glute. Tuck your bottom. Send your bottom toward that heel. Trace back to the back of the pelvis. Draw your body back. Staying heavy. You're using that ball to traction from origin to insertion right through that center part of that glute. Woo, that'll get you. Sit nice and straight. Hinge forward. Find the hamstring tendon, center hamstring tendon. One more pass. Sit tall. Reach that heel out. Let the ball move back slightly while your pelvis still stays vertical. Then tuck your bottom. Send your bottom towards your heel. And that ball is going to trace up the back of your pelvis. And then traction your body back. Find your vertical spine, your vertical pelvis, and then lean forward and get that ball into that hamstring notch. So all of this releasing of glutes and hamstrings will also be part of that concept of releasing our lumbar spine and our torso from our pelvis and sit nice and tall. Now, you're just going to shift your body to the left slightly, and the ball is going to come a little further out to the right. And you're going to lean over to that side, and you're going to get your weight there. You're going to flex that foot. And you're going to draw your body forward. You haven't tucked your bottom yet. You're allowing that ball to give you space in your hip, really lift that glute. Now you're going to tuck your bottom, and you're going to let your bottom slide toward that foot as the ball comes up the back and lateral side of your pelvis. And then you're going to drag your body back on that ball. Sit up. I know that's getting you, Marianne. And then you're going to lean, get nice and straight, then lean forward and find that lateral tendon to the hamstring. And then sit back up straight, reach your heel out, feel that ball sink up into the glute. Start tucking your bottom, drawing your bottom towards your heel, let that ball trace up that lateral side of the pelvis and get your weight there, and then traction your body back, picking your chest up. Oh my word, coming up really nice and straight, and then leaning forward and finding that hamstring head. And one more time, sit up nice and tall, let that ball lift the glute. Then tuck your bottom, you send your bottom towards your heel. That ball is right there. It's just sliding up that lateral side of my glute, getting into the glute medius, glute minimus, the lateral portion of the glute max, and then draw your body back, picking your spine up, tractioning the body back, find straight, then lean forward and let that ball come just in front of your sit bone into your hamstring tendon. Come back to vertical. Shift your body to the right so the ball comes into the inside of the sit bone. So we're coming up just to the right side of the sacrum into the SI joint. So you're going to shift your booty forward so that the ball lifts the glutes. And then you're going to roll your hip bones away from your thigh bone and send the bottom towards your heel. The ball traces up to the back of your pelvis. Then you're going to pull your body back, staying heavy on the ball. You may find an adjustment in your spine, in your SI. I just did. Sit really nice and tall. Your weight is in the ball. Then you're going to lean forward and you're going to find that medial hamstring head. And you're going to stack back up to straight. You're going to shift your body forward, let that ball come up, lifting the glute. Tuck that bottom underneath you, send your sit bone towards your heel. And then draw your body back, sitting up nice and tall as you go. Getting that weight down into the ball, making sure the ball isn't coming into your pelvic floor. You're going to lean forward and get that weight there. And then you're going to sit up to straight. We're going to come off the ball. And just in a seated position, you can feel how much more freedom you have. I mean, you can see it in my legs. One leg is popped up. I mean, that hamstring is tight, that glute is tight. So let's take it, just lay on our back to kind of take that in and see what that gives us. How that feels, oh my gosh, in your SI joint. So much freer through that right side. So draw your knees in towards your chest. Lower them to a side, and let's come on up and do the other side. So you're going to take that ball, you're going to find your center of your sit bone, and you can even just feel around for it. It's not a big bone, right? You're going to find that center of the sit bone. You're going to roll yourself up on that ball. I'm going to come at a little angle so I can see you guys. And your leg is going to be straight. And you're sitting really nice and tall. You're first just going to shift your body forward so the ball comes up and separates. It's coming up into the glute, and it's separating your glute from your hamstring. And then you're going to tuck your bottom, so you're going to move your hip bones away from your thigh bones and start sending the sit bone towards your heel. And that ball is going to trace up the center of the glute max. And then you're going to draw your body back and you're going to sit up, get your weight into the ball, sit really vertical, and then draw your body back and hinge forward. And then you're going to sit up nice and tall, move your body forward so the ball gives that pressure up into the glutes, separating it from the hamstring. Then you're going to tuck your bottom, send that bottom towards your heel, and draw that ball up towards the back of the pelvis. Stay heavy on the ball. Traction your body back and up. Keeping your weight in the ball is key. All the way back up to vertical and hinge forward. Getting the ball at the hamstring nook. One more time, sit up nice and tall. Slide forward just a little bit. Get your weight there. Let that ball really draw that glute away from your hamstring. And perhaps, like for me, this is my lazy glute side. I could feel that sort of separation so much more. It's hard for me to feel it here. You're gonna tuck your bottom, send your bottom toward your heel. Stay really heavy on the ball. Oh, there, now I feel it. And you're gonna trace that ball straight up the back of your pelvis. And then you're gonna traction your body back. Sit up. Sit really nice and tall. Hinge forward, your bottom goes back, the ball goes into the center of the hamstrings, and then you're going to come back to center. Shift your body to the right, the ball is going to go to the left, and you're going to lean out just slightly, just to get more weight there. You're still sitting straight, but you're just leaning to the side. You're going to draw your bottom forward a little bit, and you're going to let that ball sink up into the glute, lifting it away from the hamstrings. Then you're going to tuck your bottom, send your bottom towards your heel, letting that ball trace up the lateral side of the glute to the back of the pelvis. And then traction your body back, staying heavy on the ball, picking your body up, picking your body up, picking your body up. And then you're going to sit tall, hinge forward, and let that ball come into the lateral hamstring. Stack your body up. You're still leaning slightly to the left. You're going to let your body come forward. That ball is going to give pressure up into the glutes. And then you're going to send your bottom toward the heel. You find a road bump or a place that's really intense, you may want to stay there for a moment. Breathe a little deeper into it. And then you're going to draw your body back. You're going to lift your body up. You're going to sit nice and tall, and you're going to lean forward. Get your weight there. One more time on this side. Lift your body up. Slide your body forward so the ball gives that pressure backing up into the glutes. You're still sitting vertical. And then we're going to tuck our bottom underneath. You're sending your sit bone towards your heel. Staying heavy on the ball, tracing that ball up the back side of your pelvis on the lateral side. And then you're going to draw your body back. Sit your body up. And lean your body forward. And stack up to straight. You're going to shift your body to the left. The ball is going to come to the right, to the inside of the sit bone. Legs still straight. You're just going to move your bum forward a little bit. You're still sitting vertical, and you're allowing that ball to give some lift of that glute. And then you're going to posteriorly tilt your pelvis, send your sit bone towards your heel. You're tracing up, really up the SI joint, up the medial side of that glute to the back of the pelvis. Then you're going to draw your body back. And you're going to sit up nice and tall. And you're going to hinge forward. Get your weight there. Stack up to straight. Shift your body forward so that the ball separates that glute from the hamstring. Then you're going to tuck your bottom, send your sit bone to your heel. Trace to the back of the pelvis. Draw your body back. Sitting up as you go. Sitting up as you go. Nice and straight. Lean forward. Stack up. Last one. Slide your body forward a little bit. You're still vertical. That ball Ooh, I can really feel, I can feel the improvement in this area for me at least. And then you're going to tuck your bottom, you're going to send it towards your heel. And you're staying heavy on the ball and you're tracing up. And then you're going to draw your body back. And you're going to come all the way straight, ball to the front of the sit bone, lean forward. And then you're going to come off that ball and you're going to see how your sides have balanced. And let's lay down and see what that gives us. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on our deep lateral rotators. So there's 6 of those muscles. We're going to use a black ball or a bed ball. Oh, that feels so nice. Feel how free your pelvis feels, how loose your legs feel in your hips, how soft your lumbar spine feels. So let's hug our legs in towards our chest. And you're going to lower your legs to the side and you're going to come back up to seated. We're going to take that black ball and we're going to put the ball and we're going to start at our sit bone. And we're working on just the deep lateral rotators. So we're going to sit and we're going to have the ball in the center of our sit bone and we're just going to slightly lean to the side. And you're going to lower that leg out to the side and then you're going to lift your leg back up. So the deep lateral rotators support the healthy movement of the hip joint and they help keep it stable. So one of the things with these muscles is if they're not used, they will diminish. And then that's how you can end up with like bone on bone, or you're always running into tendons and cartilage, you know, that popping and clicking. And when they're alive and working, then, you know, they add a lot of buoyancy to your stride. They help you externally rotate and internally rotate at your thigh bone. And we're just going to do one more. You're staying heavy on the ball. You're opening the leg to the side that you're leaning to. And then you're just going to shift your body a little more to the left. We're going to trace out and around the hip. We're going to do two more locations. So you've just moved your body slightly to the left and the balls come a little bit to the right, tracing around that hip. And you're leaning out to that side. You're going to lower your leg out to the side. And you're going to lift that leg back up. And you're going to lower that leg out to the side, staying heavy on the ball as you go, and lift that leg back up. You're going to lower that leg out to the side and lift the ball back, or the leg back up. And we'll do one more. Open that leg out to the side. You should feel that creating that sense of space in the joint, and lift that leg back up. Shift a little further. So now you're going to be more actually on the side of that hip joint. And you're going to lower that leg down. And you're going to lift that leg up. Lower your leg down. And lift that leg back up. This is a great pattern to do. You can do this even in bed, just laying down with the bed balls. I am going to give you, the next thing we're going to do is just about mobility of the hip joint, and that is from the bed series. Which I always think it's nice to have some patterns that you can do as you're falling asleep, or that you can do in the night when you wake up, should you wake up with discomfort. And last one, lift that leg up, lower your leg down, and then pick yourself up off the ball. And again, put your legs out in front and feel the difference. Lower your body down onto the mat so you can just take that in and see what that gives you. I feel like that whole side of my body has become longer. Like all of that space, the release of those muscles allowed this hip to drop down. So a lot of these rotator muscles actually run from the outside through your sit bone to the inside. So they have this horizontal, hug your knees in and come on up, horizontal orientation. So when those get tight, they cram the femur into the hip, right? When we have stuff like that going on, we can't access our glutes because we have these muscles that are really tight and are impeding our ability to move. You're going to sit at the sit bone on the ball. And then we're just going to lean slightly to the side. So you're still at the center of the sit bone here, kind of in that space. Once we start opening our leg, you'll know if you're in the right space or not. And you're going to lower that leg down. And then you're going to lift that leg back up. The whole time you're sending your pelvis heavy to the ball, right? So we don't want to think we lift our legs up and we push into our hands or we get light. I want you to still feel that weight of your body into the ball. Open that leg out to the side and lift back up. Open that leg out to the side and lift your leg back up. You're going to shift your body a little to the, we're on the left side. So you're going to shift your body a little to the right. Oh, man. And then you're going to open that leg out to the side and go slow, especially if it's intense. And then you're going to draw that leg back up. Open your leg out to the side. So the piriformis, which can be really responsible for sciatica, is part of these deep rotating muscles. So if you're having an acute episode, this may be too intense to do on a regular basis, which is why I'm excited about the next pattern for, I have you in mind, Marianne. And then you're going to lift your leg up. And then you're going to shift your body again to the left. And you're going to come even down onto your elbows, or you're more on your side, right? Nelly. And you're going to open that leg out to the side. And then you're going to lift that leg back up. And you're going to open out to the side. So you're just opening that leg 3 to 5 times out to the side and lifting back up, staying heavy. Open that leg out to the side and lift that leg back up. 2 more. And lift. And last one. And lift. And then you're going to take yourself off the ball. Sit. See how delightful that feels. And then let's lay down and see what that feels like. I feel like I'm a matching set now. So for this next pattern, again, this is about the mobility of the hip joint. It's from the bed work, and you can use the in bed with Yamuna work. You could use a calf ball or you could use a black ball. You're going to take, I'm going to come to this side. So we're going to go to the side we worked first. So you're to the right side. And you're just going to take that right leg over your body and you're going to feel for the bone. You can feel your sit bone. You can feel your greater trochanter. And then you're going to put the ball right there at that greater trochanter hip. And then you're going to lower back your body back to the floor. And then you're going to let that leg come out to the side. I'm going to move mine in a little bit more. And you're just going to let that leg hang out to the side. Now I have a calf ball here, or not a calf ball. I'm using a bed ball. A calf ball is a little bit bigger than a bed ball. And then a pearl ball or a face ball would be a little bit bigger than that. So if you're challenged with the external rotation, then you could use a bigger ball, or you could just take that pearl ball and place it under your leg so it just doesn't have so much weight there, intensifying that external rotation and that abduction. So this is really just a waiting game. We're not going to wait very long. I just want you to feel this exercise in your body or this pattern in your body. So again, great exercise to do as you're falling asleep. Some people may actually fall asleep like that, right? With their hands over their head, whatever you do when you're falling asleep. So it's really easy. You can read. And then you're just going to lift your leg up and you're going to move that ball up that hip socket. And you're going to open that leg back out to the side. And you just stay here for 2 to 3 to 5 breaths. You can stay here when you're doing it in bed. You can stay here indefinitely. But you just can move the ball 2 or 3 places around your hip. And then lift the leg back up. I'm going to keep moving up that joint and open back out to the side. You could also choose to go the other direction and have that ball underneath the bottom side of that thigh bone and that hip socket. Yeah, there we go. Always breathing into the ball and then exhaling and feeling like everything melts. Lift your leg up, take the ball out, straighten your leg out, and feel what that gives you. I'm feeling like my hip is opening, but my bottom is lifting. And let's go ahead, hug your knees in towards your chest, lower your legs to a side, and we'll do the other side. I'm just going to flip over just so you can see what I'm doing. So you're going to take that top leg over. You're going to feel for the bones on the back of your pelvis. You got your sit bones, you got your greater trochanter, and you're going to place that ball right there in the hip, and you're going to lower your pelvis and your body back onto the floor, or if you're in bed, back to the mattress, and just let that leg open out to the side. And you're just breathing into the ball. And see if you can just exhale and have everything melt around the ball. You could even press down on your thigh to give it some additional weight and some traction. And breathe in again. And we're going to lift that leg up. And you can move that ball around your hip joint. And let that leg open back out to the side. And you breathe into the ball. And then let everything melt around the ball. Breathe into the ball. And breathe out. And then lift that leg up. You can move it to a third spot. I'm going to go back down below where I started. So this is one of those patterns where you find where you feel the tightness and you work there, right? You're just going all around that, like the femur and the hip socket joint. And you breathe into the ball. And take another nice good breath into the ball. And then let it go. And lift your leg up. And straighten that leg out. And see what that gives you. You're going to hug your knees in towards your chest. And we're going to lower our body to the side. So we're going to do a stabilizing exercise. So now you're going to need a gold ball and a black ball. And you're going to lay on your right side. And you're going to take that black ball and you're going to place it right underneath your knee. So it'll be about a 90-degree angle. And you're going to take this top ball and you're going to put it between your knees. And you're just going to lay down and you're going to breathe. You can try to keep your heels up. Not necessary. You can let your heels come down. I'm going to keep my heels up to see if I can find just a little more weight. So another great thing to do for hip pain and hip discomfort is to take your black balls, place them between your legs as you sleep. If this gold ball feels too big for your hip range, you could do the cream ball. You could even do just 2 black balls. I use the 2 black balls when I'm doing it in bed. And then you're just going to lift your legs up a little. You're going to move that black ball 1/3 of the way up your thigh. And you're going to move the gold ball up to match it. And you're going to lower that leg down. And maybe you can feel how that allows that top thigh bone to almost unravel out from the hip. That's what I just felt. And I want you to think the whole time as we move along that we're trying to heavy our knees to the floor. Especially as we move up our thighs. You're going to lift your leg up. You're going to move that ball 1/2 of the way up that thigh bone, and you're going to move the gold ball up as well. And you're going to think of trying to draw your knees to the floor. You can use your top hand, your free hand, to add some weight to those legs. You're going to take another breath. And we're also balancing that inner outer thigh. Lift back up, move that ball up, 2/3 of the way up your thigh. The gold ball is going to go as high as it can between your legs. And you're going to balance a little bit here. And you're going to think of heavying your knees to the floor. You're going to breathe in. And breathe out. The other thing is the more we can do, the more we can be mindful of creating space in our pelvis. I know as women, we're always trying to kind of shrink in on ourselves, but allowing the sit bones to spread apart, that allows our glutes to do their job. When we clench our butt cheeks or we're trying to narrow in, then that mitigates the alignment of our bones and the efficient use of our muscles. And then you're going to take the gold ball out, roll off the black ball, straighten your legs out, and see what that feels like. I feel like I have 2 different length legs. And that the leg, that my right leg feels like it externally rotates more freely. And my right hip feels heavier. So let's balance it out. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Lower your legs to the side and we'll come to the other side. So you're going to take that black ball and you're going to place it underneath your knee, and you're going to take that gold ball and you're going to put it between your knees, and you're just going to rest down on your hand. And you're thinking knees to the floor. And you breathe. Always breathing into the ball. I think of breathing into the black ball and then melting everything from the top knee down through the gold ball down to the black ball. One more breath. And then you're going to lift those knees up, move the black ball 1/3 of the way down the thigh bone. Move the gold ball up to match. Think knees go towards the floor. And breathe. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Lift your legs up, move that ball halfway down your thigh bone. Oh, spread your legs, move that gold ball up. Think knees heavy to the floor. So much tighter on this side. Breathing in. And 2 more breaths. And 1 more breath. Lift your legs up, move that ball 2/3 of the way down that thigh bone. Gold ball is going to go as deep between your leg as you can get it. Now you're going to be balancing a little bit on that black ball. And you're going to draw your knees down to the floor. This does a lot to give you space in that SI joint, because it has that resetting the femur and the hip socket component as well. Breathe in. And breathe out. And 1 more, breathe in. And breathe out. Oh, that was a nice melt. You're gonna lift the leg up, take the gold ball out, roll over onto your back, take that black ball out, and just breathe. And see what that feels like. I feel like, again, I have a matching set now. You're gonna draw your knees in towards your chest and lower them to the side. I'm gonna pop my light on as it's getting dimmer as the sun's going down. We're gonna use the gold ball. We're gonna do some adductor work. So you're gonna want space for your leg to extend to the side. We're gonna take our gold ball, we're gonna be laying prone, and we're gonna take the ball into the side of our pubic bone with our knee straight out from our hip. So you got the ball, I gotta go this way. You're gonna have the ball on the right side of the pubic bone, and that leg is gonna come straight out from your hip. And you're resting up on your arms. You feel that ball on the right side of that pubic bone. And you're just melting. You're making sure that you're not allowing that left hip to get heavy. You're picking your left hip up so that you can feel that weight going down into the side of the right side of the pubic bone and into the adductor. I'm going to turn this way so you can get a better view. And if you can straighten your leg out to the side, you can straighten your legs out to the side, or you can leave your leg bent. You're going to shift your body to the left, and the ball is going to move 1/3 of the way down that adductor. And if it's hard for you to stay up on your elbows, you can take that pearl ball and place it on your chest. And you're just melting into the ball, melting into the ball, melting into the ball. And you're going to shift your body to the left. The ball's going to come halfway down that right thigh bone. You can use your hand to traction and add weight. Maybe you just need your arms underneath you to find your balance. And then you're going to move your body a little further to the left. The ball's 2/3 of the way down that thigh bone. Now the left side of your body is likely on the mat. And you can rest your head on your hand. You can lay all the way down. That's fine. I want you to think about maybe even taking your top hand and giving some added weight to that ball, making sure you're not allowing that hip to lift. Even though that left hip is down, you're really anchoring that right hip down as well. And then we're going to move our body to the left, and the ball's going to come underneath our knee. You can even just move the ball underneath the knee. And you're going to straighten your leg. And you're going to bend your leg. You're going to straighten your leg and bend your leg. You're going to straighten your leg and bend your leg. And maybe you don't have this range of motion in this angle. You could have your leg draped back some, right? So you could have it at a diagonal, straighten and bend, and straighten and bend. Use your hand to draw just a little circle on the ball. And then you're gonna come off the ball and you're gonna roll onto your back. And you're gonna see what that feels like. Again, that leg feels so much freer, maybe even a little bit longer. You're gonna draw your legs to your chest, lower your legs to a side, come on up. We're gonna come to the other side. So you're gonna take that ball, you're gonna place it on the left side of your pubic bone with your leg out from your hip. Picking that right hip up so that your left hip can stay heavy. You're on the left side of the pubic bone and into the start of the adductor, and you're just gonna breathe. We should have taken before and after pictures of our bums to see that they're lifted. Breathe in. And breathe out. shift your body to the right. The ball comes 1/3 of the way down the thigh bone. And you're really getting your weight there. Whew. So it's good to also see if maybe there's a pattern when we do one side and then the other. Is there one side of your body that always feels more intense? Or when you're working one side of the body, do you tend to feel it on the other side of the body? You're going to shift your body to the right. The ball's going to come halfway down that thigh bone. That right hip starts to lower to the mat, but you're still keeping that weight of the thigh bone on the ball. You can use your hand to facilitate that if you need to or would like to. And you're going to breathe in. Think of that leg reaching out of your hip. Exhale, melt to the ball. Shift your body to the right. The ball's 2/3 of the way down the thigh. It's not quite to the knee yet. You're going to get your weight down there. And then we're going to shift one more time to the right. The ball's going to be underneath our knee. And you're going to get that weight there. We're just going to melt for a couple breaths, and then we're going to straighten and bend that knee and draw some circles. So let's straighten that leg and bend your leg. And straighten your leg and bend your leg. You're staying heavy on that ball. Straighten your leg and bend your leg. Now you're going to draw some circles on the ball. And let's do a few in the other direction. And then you're going to come off the ball and roll over onto your back and see what that gives you. Keep that goal ball heavy because we're going to wrap up with some breath work into our lower back with the goal ball. Straighten your legs out and see what that feels like. My legs feel like they match in length, and I have equal ease on both sides of my pelvis. I feel like I have a nice lift of my glute. All that tension is alleviated. And my pelvis feels a little bit, or my glutes feel a little more narrowed in, but in a relaxed way. So you're going to bend your knees. We're going to put this goal ball under our sacrum. If it's hard for you to lift your pelvis up and slide that ball underneath, you can always come to your side, put the ball there, and roll up upon it, right? So you decide what's safest and best for you. I want that ball to be at the top of your sacrum, a little bit in your lumbar spine, but more on your sacrum. Your hands are going to interlace and you're going to wrap them around the ball. You're going to draw one leg up to tabletop, a little bit beyond, and you're going to draw that other leg up to meet it. So the thigh bones come towards you to create a flexion in your lumbar spine. You're creating this sense of a C curve, or as if you're in a rolling like a ball position for mat work. You're going to inhale. I want you to breathe into the ball, breathe into the ball, breathe into the ball. And on your exhale, pull the ball into your back and let your thigh bones just melt closer towards your body. Inhale, breathe into the ball, breathe into the ball, Breathe into the ball and exhale and draw that ball into your back. Inhale, breathe into the ball, breathe into the ball, breathe into the ball, and exhale, pull the ball into your back. And one more breath, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, and then exhale, pull that ball into your back. Let's lift our feet up slightly. Pick your bottom up, move that ball up one more segment. This is the last segment we're going to do. You're going to inhale, you're going to breathe into the ball, breathe into the ball, breathe into the ball, breathe into the ball, and exhale, pull the ball into your back. Inhale, breathe into the ball, breathe into the ball, breathe into the ball, and exhale, let that ball come into your back. One more breath, breathe in, breathe in, breathe in, and then exhale. And then you're going to slowly draw your legs to tabletop-ish. Let one foot come to the mat. Let the other foot come to the mat. Pick your pelvis up. Scooch that ball out from underneath your back. Lower everything down to the mat. Rock your pelvis. Take a couple nice deep inhales and then exhale. So you guys know that you need to drink extra water when you do a nice Yamuna session. We worked on a lot of stabilizing muscles and the glutes for stabilizing our pelvis. So make sure you just tread lightly as you move through the rest of your evening, or better yet, go take a bath and go to bed. Thank you guys so much for coming. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you next time. And you guys have a great night. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Viki. It was great.
Thank you.